So I'm 53 years old, and protein is really, really hard to get it all in for the day. And now that I'm older, I know how important it is. And so, well, I've kind of come up with a way to get it all in without being in the kitchen cooking all day. And so I wanted to share what I'm eating as far as protein goes. And it's really actually not that difficult. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not like a guru for fitness or anything. I'm just kind of doing some basic math. But used to be where if you were 170 pounds, you should have a pound or a gram of protein for every pound. So that'd be like 170 grams, which is still kind of true, I think. But what I've been doing, I've been using ChatGPT. That's my new trainer. I did a video on that recently. It's pretty cool. And basically, I am trying to hit between 150 to 170 grams of protein. And so I just kind of want to give you just a list of like what I'm having. And honestly, it's not that hard. I'm nailing my proteins every single day. And so first off, I do intermittent fasting. Now, I don't do it because of the health benefits, although I think that there is some health benefits. But I'm doing it more out of convenience. So I generally don't eat, like I haven't eaten yet. I'm recording this at around 11:30, 12 o'clock. I forget what time it is. But I'm going to break my fast after I do this. And then what I'll do is I'm going to have, today I'm going to have cottage cheese. So cottage cheese, a half a cup of cottage cheese is, I believe it's like 15 or 16 grams of protein. Just that for a half a cup. So that's like a huge hack. I like cottage cheese. I don't know if you like cottage cheese, but that's something that you could easily get and you can have, right? So the thing that I add with that is I usually will add a can of tuna. Now, again, some people aren't tuna fans. I like tuna. So what I'll do is I will take the can of tuna, I will take the cottage cheese, and I will mix it together, almost like I was making like tuna salad, where I could then put it on bread if I wanted to. But what I've done it two different ways, where I will have it just like that. I will mix it all up in a bowl, but I'll also add like a dill pickle slice, and I'll just chop it up and put it in there. So it's kind of like celery. You can put celery in there, onions, whatever. But that gets me, like, get this, tuna. This is another hack. A can of tuna, it's only like 150 calories, something like that. But it's got 31 or 32 grams of protein. So with just that and my cottage cheese, I'm at like 45 grams of protein the first part of the day. And they say your first meal of the day should have high protein. So that's the first thing that I have. Now, some days I'm not going to have tuna every day. I could take leftovers from the night before. I do like pork loin, which I'll talk about that here in a minute. But what I'll do is I will take the pork loin and I'll chop that up, maybe like 4 ounces, and mix it in the cottage cheese, and that would be my thing. And I should also say too, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take Dave's bread, 1 slice, and I'll put a layer of the tuna on that, and then I'll eat that as like a half a sandwich. It's only like 70 calories. There's like 4 grams of protein in that too. But that's not the main protein source. But then what I'll do also to switch it up is I might just have 4 eggs, and I'll have 3 egg yolks and 1 egg white. And then I'll have some chicken sausage. So I'll take 3 pieces of chicken sausage. I think that's about 120 calories, but it is, I believe it's like 10 or 12 grams of protein. So I add that in with the eggs, I'm hitting my 30 to 35 grams of protein. So I've got options there, right? So that's like my lunch or breakfast, you could call it, I guess. Then what I usually will do is I will have a protein shake. So I think the easiest way to get your protein in the middle of the day, or if you're at work or whatever, is just, have a protein shake. So my protein shake is pretty simple. I've been having this now for over 13 years, the same formula. And it's basically, I'm having almond milk. And it's just a cup, so it's 35 calories. Then I'm having a frozen banana. I throw some ice cubes in there, a half of a frozen banana. That's not protein, but I'm just kind of giving you the full gist here. Then from there, I will add in the protein of Shakeology. So Shakeology is my protein mix. I throw in some collagen, a little bit more there, and then I will throw in creatine, And then I will throw in a tablespoon of natural peanut butter. And that's it. And I whip it up. And that right there is going to be another 25 to 30 grams of protein. So you can see it's kind of adding up. Then for the afternoon, for my protein, I have a Perfect Bar. And the Perfect Bar is like 330 calories and it's like 15 grams of protein. So that's another thing that I have there. Again, I just added another 15 grams of protein. Okay, now moving into the dinner time is now I have to figure out, okay, how am I going to get a good 30 grams of protein here? And generally what I'm going to do, and this is going to be a variety of different things, but it's going to be pork loin. So pork loin, I didn't realize it is very lean. It's almost as lean as chicken. And I love it. So what I do is I'll buy one from Aldi's, however you say it, and I will get one of theirs seasoned. Last night I had a mesquite one. It was really good. And so 7 ounces I had of that. 7 ounces. And that was like 35 grams of protein, maybe 40. It was right around there. I hit my numbers yesterday. I've been hitting them every day for the last month. And that's one protein source. The other one for dinner that I've been doing is salmon. Do a piece of salmon, usually 4 to 6 ounces. That's another one. Then the other one that I've been doing is I might just have eggs again. Okay, that's a very simple one. Then the other thing I've been doing is hamburger. So I'll take hamburger and I will basically take 6 ounces usually. I'll cook it so it's kind of like it's ground up hamburger. And then what I'll do is I'll just put that over a sweet potato. And that's kind of like my dinner. Sometimes I'll even, to get a little bit more protein, I'll take a half a cup of cottage cheese again. I'll put that on the side, and then I'll have like 5 dill pickles sliced up on that. My go-to lately has been just the pickles. I love them things, and they're really good for you as far as like gut health. So I've been really into those. And then to cap this thing off, what I'm doing, there's a couple different things. One is at, probably like 7 o'clock at night, I'm generally going to be having a little handful. I say handful, it's a third of a cup of edamame, and they're dried. And so, oh my gosh, I've been loving these things. 15 grams of protein for this third of a cup, and it's 120 calories. And it even gives you some fiber too, I believe. So that's that. And then I'm not done yet. And then from there, at the very end, to completely cap it off, I'm having a yogurt bowl. So I will take 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt. It's 0% fat. And then from there, I put in 3/4 of a cup of blueberries. Usually they're frozen, but I'll nuke them for like maybe like 45 seconds just to kind of get them de-thawed a little bit. Drop them in there. I drizzle a little bit of honey, and then I put in some Elizabeth's granola on top of that. And then I mix it all together, and I have that. And so that's a nice slow digesting, if I can say it right, protein that's supposedly good for while you're sleeping. So I have that, and that's it. And my numbers are generally around 2,100 to 2,200 calories per day, and my protein is typically going to be around 150 to 170, and then carbohydrates are right around 170, 190, somewhere in there, depending on if it's a workout day. And then fats, I'm keeping them between like 65 and 75. And that's it. So anyway, hopefully you got some value from that. Hey, let me know in the comments, what are you having for protein? What's your little go-to? Let me know that in the comments. I'd be really interested to know. And just tune in, because I'm going to be documenting everything here with what I'm calling the Scott Voelker Project, which is basically me getting older and documenting it and how we can stay healthy all together. All right, so get after it, guys.